Hello, Ibi,
Hi Costa.
and welcome everyone to who is viewing this either now, here, live, or in the future. This is Ibi, who's a wonderful colleague and friend of mine, who I've known for many, many years now, and we've been exploring this wonderful work called the Gene Keys, which is an exploration into the very depths of um, the soul, or of wisdom, and of life and ways of how we can use ourselves and our challenges to be transformed so we can live to our highest purpose. And we've been exploring this in a very sort of playful way in the past, and we thought we'd come here today and in the future to explore different themes that come up in the present moment. So, yeah, it's lovely to have you here, Ibi, and to be in this space and see what's going to come up in the moment.
Yes, hi Costa and hello everyone. It's um it's good to be with you and really just explore this possibility and we thought to continue in a way our explorations in started in the clubhouse way back in the 64 ways room. And actually, we thought to offer this gift of inviting you with us into these explorations and contemplations, which are not something we prepared, but more like let life and the field bring us these themes and allow the flow to move through us and bring up what wants to be revealed or explored. And it's wonderful to use the gene keys as this map of the consciousness and see those archetypes um, playing out in the spectrum of consciousness and how we are here to live them and to move with them and unlock the genius that is hidden in every challenge and every shadow. So yes, it's good to be here, and this is just a pilot episode. And yes, let's dive in and see what's coming out.
Yeah. So just before starting this, we just picked out, well, I picked out, or it picked me, Gene Key 19. So there are 64 keys in the spectrum of this system, and each key contains a shadow, a gift, and a city. So in the 19th, it goes from codependence to sacrifice, and it's the gift of sensitivity. And so I can relate to this key very much in the sense of codependence, as to habits or distractions or unconscious behaviors that come up in my field. And a lot of that time is it comes up through, looking too much onto social media or having too many desires that are moving me away from making me feel centered. And I see that a lot playing out in my life. And when I read this key, especially in the gift, it's a way of helping myself to see how I can transform that. And it explains that it's about being able to be considerate for other people or to be sensitive towards other people's needs. And I can also share that it's something that I feel is about being sensitive to my own needs because I'm not really self-parenting myself in love. It's more like I'm going with a decision that's drowning itself in something that's familiar, but it's not helping me evolve or to feel expanded. Rather, it leaves me feeling quite dull. And especially ironically, because we're putting this up on YouTube, a lot of the time that I see on YouTube, it's showing very much feed or news feed that's based off stories and an algorithm that's not really in any shape and form going to benefit my life, but just putting through this verbal diarrhea that's coming up. And I don't feel that's really helping me. So I realize if I give myself time to move myself away from that and to cultivate my sense of being in something more refreshing by just pausing or being out in nature or doing this dialogue with you, Ibi, I find that's giving myself more purpose, and hopefully to you guys here in the audience, it's giving yourselves more purpose to feel there's something more essential that can be shared on these networks that can be a form of education rather than a sense of futile passing that has no relevance to our lives. So that's what comes up in the sensitivity and in that and the codependence of being stuck in something, and that stuckness just doesn't move, it doesn't change, and so yeah, it's about making sure you can graft and keep what's alive and move away from what keeps you dead, what keeps you stale, what keeps you like you're resigned to something. Whereas deep within us, the gene keys always reminds me that we have gifts to share and we have potential that can be released if we give ourselves the time and space to just acknowledge that. And the more we can put our awareness into those spaces, like in this gift of sensitivity, I can see it come alive. And so maybe that's also a request to see for you guys, where can you see sensitivity in your lives? Where can you give yourself compassion and empathy to other people and to yourself to know that if you are being stuck in a place or you are being addicted to something, can you forgive yourself and say, it's okay, right here, right now, I'm offering myself a light. If there's a fog that's around my environment, that's okay, but the light I'm sharing with my presence is enough to know that I'm coming out of that hole or I'm coming out of that space. So that can be something to contemplate.
Mm. Yes, thank you, Costa, for sharing that and bringing this theme. I feel this is really very timely, this theme of sensitivity, as we are opening more and more to the subtle realms and our higher senses. We are moving from living based only what our five senses are providing. And this key, Jinky 19, is actually the one that is all about interdependence. So we are not meant to function, live, or evolve isolated. We are constantly uh, connected with everything around us. And it's not just the human connection, but also this key has the power and the sensitivity to pierce through those barriers between the realms. So people with Jinky 19 can easily communicate with animals, with plants, with all the non-human forms, but it's also an overwhelming um, feeling, or can be an overwhelming feeling, especially for a child or for a young adult, not knowing why you feel so much. Because this key, I have it in my profile twice. So one is positioned in the sphere of the IQ, and it's with the line 3, which is very dynamic. And the other is in the Pearl sphere with the line 6. And it was the experience in the first part of my life that I was feeling everyone's needs and rushing unconsciously to fulfill or to make something to help them fulfill that need, just because this feeling of the need to be needed, to be useful, to be um, this contract that is, I will fulfill your need. I will be doing everything that's necessary, pleasing, or just anticipating the needs of others. But just from this feeling of I am important for the other, and he or she needs me. And that is the base of this contract the 19 is making with the others. And meanwhile, what's happening, I was forgetting about myself. And the programming partner is Jinky 33, which is forgetfulness, right? You forget about yourself and you don't even remember at the end of the day what was in that day for you. It's something that is deleting the memories, and also it's a stop codon, so you cannot really go forever in this forgetfulness. And it starts with this fear of that is coming from absolutely from the unconscious part, the fear of not being able to survive by yourself and creating this attachment and investing in this attachment, which becomes codependence, because during this contract, you will soon arrive at this point where you have to make a compromise between your needs and the needs of others. And when you start compromising your needs at the expense of the others, is when this becomes very oppressive and very it's just stealing the freedom, and the overwhelm, the oversensitivity will start exploding or just self-destroying. And so it's interesting how this Jinky is moving from codependence, which is total dependence on something external. It can be a relationship, it can be the family, the parents, a job, it can be an addiction or any kind of habit. And actually, it's here to invite us to create and to set healthy boundaries between what we need and what we feel, and also to discern what are our needs and what are the needs of the others, and this frequency in the gift that is independence. So you have to become first independent so that you can go into interdependence and not fall back into codependence. So you need to have this courage to go through the fear that you will not survive if you are not fulfilling the needs of the others, and really give to yourself the attention and the mindfulness to have your glass full first, and then start giving to to the others. And the sensitivity is something very interesting, to watch how it was perceived and how we were taught that being sensitive is a weakness. And it was labeled, especially for boys and men, they are not allowed to be sensitive. Or the little girls being too sensitive, it's uh, it's it's been labeled as a weakness. And actually, at the gift level, you realize that is a superpower, because being able to communicate and to receive responses and to see things beyond the material appearances, and see how they are interconnected as a holographic universe, and everything in your life is actually part of something bigger, and it's a fractal reflection of your own design and your profile, and it's meant to come back as a pattern, but you can choose or just be aware of the frequency that is moving through that pattern, and how that frequency can change the reality around you and how you live um, that sensitivity. And the use of sensitivity is really being able to point out and to feel the true need of the other, which often is not visible. It's masked under a reaction, or it's masked under a silence, or hiding, or something that is dominating. So yes, it's quite a journey, but sensitivity in these times is something we need to open more and more, and to work with these higher forces, these higher frequencies that are ready to be embodied. And this is the doorway. This key holds, um, yes, the codes and the ability to see through what's just visible, and see the connections, the interconnectedness.
Mm. Thanks, Ibi. Thanks for that lovely sharing. To unpack all that would take quite a while, but I just want to just draw people's attention just to the actual tools that Ibi had shared. For example, the programming partners that we have with um, that come across from different keys. So, like Ibi, like you shared about the 33rd being the key um, that connects to the 19. You'll see that all the keys, all 64 keys in this teaching are connected to another key, or in fact, they're connected to all the keys because we look at the universe as being holographic. Everything can be seen like a hall of mirrors. And with the 33rd, I can also see how the mindfulness, which is the gift of the 33rd, connects with sensitivity. For we need to see where our actions are taking us, or where our thoughts are taking us, or where our speech is taking us, or where our feelings are taking us. Specifically, feelings, because that's where the key of 19 is being played out with all across all species. And I also just want to share like a little story. Well, not a story, but what happened to me on the weekend with a monk. We were going through a meditation, and it was interesting to see that everything around us was always about connecting to ourselves with peace and through happiness, and then to share that out to the world, to our family, to our friends, to our cities, to our country, and then to continents, and then to the world, and then to the universe. And it was just lovely to see and to feel that feeling coming up, um, to know that when we're actually connected, and if you're open to that, then the choice is up to you. It's up to me whether I want to be happy and whether I want to be peaceful. And if I'm not feeling peaceful in this meditation or in this moment or in any moment, that's also okay. But I'm placing my awareness there, knowing that it's okay, that I'm not maybe being um, considerate to other people or considerate to myself. And that in itself brings up the power to know that I can make the change, because this act of forgiving is making me remove the dross or remove the layers that I'm putting hooks on through codependency patterns. For example, my thoughts, or I'm injecting energy into my thought or into an action. And just by looking at it, it's like, oh, it's going away. We don't see it maybe at first sight, but subtly over time through repetition, um, the presence starts to shine brighter than it is in the darkness, and therefore it becomes more powerful in that sense. So I just want to bring in that angle as well, that we can also use the keys around the 19 to bring it more life and to see, okay, yeah, this by being mindful of something, I'm actually becoming more sensitive. And the same thing arises also if you look at it from the high level of revelation or sacrifice. By Well, my understanding of sacrifice is when you give yourself totally to something of a greater cause, let's say through selfless service, then the revelation is being revealed and others can see it. Or through the selfless actions that you do, you're providing something that others in the next generations will be able to uh, be fulfilled by, or through service, you're showing a greater way of how we can work together as beings, rather than being stuck on our phones or from our past desires that are just not serving anything. And so, yeah, those small connections there can really help bring about a big difference in our lives. And sacrifice is also not. I mean, you can also see it from a shadow perspective of self-sacrificing, meaning I'm giving to something but I'm not ready to give to that place because I'm still holding on. That's maybe like you were sharing. Um, you got to be looking after yourself first before you can look after others. But if you're ready to make that leap and you feel that it's important because it's breaking a circuit or it's breaking a pattern, then the sacrifice for the whole is not is serving something greater than yourself. And it just you'll know when you're ready for it. Or it's about you taking the leap, the leap of initiative, and that's going to help serve something beyond yourself. You just don't know how, and you don't know when it's going to be received back to you, or maybe it won't in this lifetime. But if you feel that pull from something within, then I suggest follow it through, and then see where it leads, and then that will be revealed in some magical form. So yeah, that's just what's coming up right now.
Yes, this is something very important. And it's interesting how um, this spectrum of frequencies is really changing everything. And especially with this word sacrifice, I've been contemplating a lot because it doesn't sound like a CD. it doesn't sound like it's a highest frequency, and it's rather bringing or we are used to give this this word a meaning that is not the highest level. So sacrifice, and if we are thinking um, at Christ, right? He is the expression of, or it's always associated with this word sacrifice. But you cannot sacrifice something you don't have. And that's exactly what you said. Um, I was always sacrificing myself, but getting this resentment, this why I have always to sacrifice myself and what's for me in it. So this dynamic between the 19 and 33, which was coming back, hitting back with, but what's in for you? And self-sacrificing and feeling or playing the martyr is also a victim role. And it's not satisfying, it's just building the anger and the resentment. And it's actually um, this first step when you are giving yourself what's needed. And that's the breaking point between the victim consciousness and being able to arrive at this independence in the gift. It's the courage to sacrifice a comfortable or a safe place, which is just a nest of the lower self. Like when you are not fulfilled in a job or in a relationship, and but you are afraid to quit because you need the money, you don't think you will survive, you don't know if you will find something else that really makes your qualities being needed and not the compromise of your qualities. And that moment of sacrificing a safe place in the middle of feeling the fear is this trust in the whole, is the trust in life, which is interconnected, which has the ability to sense that you are moving from a place where it's not your place, you are free, right? You are not attached to something anymore, but you are free. And then life can present you and can move you towards where you really belong. But that moment of fear and that moment of courage to to break from the lower self that is uh, in a place where you are not seen or you are not appreciated or you cannot express your highest potential and just step into the unknown, which is alive, which is interconnected, which is always sensing where a potential is free and it moves you to the right place. And this happened to me in 2018 when I left the corporate world, and literally I didn't have any backup. I didn't have savings or something. I left with the last salary. But I felt in that moment that whatever happens, it will be really life holding me. I had this deep peace inside, um, and deep peace with the unknown. And it was a big leap, and it really was the beginning of a new life for me. And since then, I can say that mm, I never spent a day anymore doing something that I don't like or I don't feel. Um, the compromise disappeared, and it's changing everything. It's self-empowering, and it's actually shifting something in your DNA, making this sensitivity um, being embodied as a superpower rather than a weakness. And this is a journey, it's not something expecting to happen in one day, but is a journey of returning that self-awareness, that mindfulness, that remembering about yourself, and making each day small choices or big choices towards something that's more true to yourself.
Yeah, it's a softenings,
Softenings, yes.
right? It's softenings. It's that yielding effect, um, and also a letting go, right? The sacrifice is like a letting go when you're ready to let go for something greater to emerge without knowing what that greater thing is yet.
And actually, as you said, when you are ready, it doesn't feel like you are self-sacrificing. Even if you are sacrificing you being on the stage, but you know you are infusing a pure frequency that is serving the whole. It doesn't matter because the whole knows, the whole sees you, and it's recorded in in the light signature in your DNA that you contributed, even if it's not recognized by the world immediately or you are not seen. So that kind of being prepared to serve something higher, but it needs to come naturally through this sequence of identifying when you are in codependence and you are sacrificing yourself, your higher self, for a lower self, and then moving into independence, but not from an attitude of I don't need anyone anymore, because that's a temptation. I don't need anyone. I isolate myself. I'm self-sufficient. I know everything. But realizing that is this flow of interdependence. Each moment we are receiving, like the breath, and we are giving. It's it's life moving through us and breathing not through one person, but through everything alive.
Nice. Very poetically put, Ibi.
It's coming from my 19s, probably. They were heavily explored
Yeah,
during time.
yeah, you're embodying them. You're
Mm.
working through them. Um, so that's all I have. I don't know, Ibi, if you want to share anything. It has been, we're looking to do what, 30-minute blocks, 30-minute video sessions.
No, I think it's um, it's really nice to to wrap up here and to um, just leave this invitation for your own contemplations and to feel how sensitivity, yours or others around you, is bringing information that you are maybe not able to translate through the mind, but yes, just open that door towards the whole informing what's the right place for you.
Yeah. And for those who don't know much about the Gene Keys, you can download your profile on genekeys.com and you can just have a curious glance or cursory glance to see what that is. And if you've got anything you want to share, feel free to put in the comments and we'll be sure to respond. So much love, everyone. Thanks for viewing.
Yes, thank you, Costa. Bye,
Yeah.
everyone. If I find also the button.